Hey everyone, welcome to another Your My Hero Academia Life. This is part 4. So if you haven't seen part 3, go ahead. It's in a playlist called My Hero Academia Life. So, before we start, um, uh, I will be currently working on a song. So put in the comments below what I should name the song. Alright.
Two CDs for sale? Faster selling?
Alright.
Okay.
We're going to change the video real quick, so it will be that. Okay, let's start. You were in the classroom waiting for the teacher. Physically, you completely recovered from the attack. But mentally, you scribbled in your notebook, and remembered that day. What do you think, May? You came back to reality when you heard Morshida's voice. Sorry, I wasn't listening. What am I thinking about what? How did those villains just leave after everything? You heard what happened after you crashed, didn't you? She asked. I didn't. All my destroyed Nomu, and the other heroes came. Shigaraki and Kagiri escaped. Kagiri? The guy with portals. So, it's him? Yep. What do you think about that? I just have more time to get stronger, so I can kill them next time. I see. I expected an answer like from you. Huh? What do you mean? She didn't answer. You wanted to insist on an answer, but the opening of the door interrupted you. You quickly looked towards the door to see Mr. Ozawa. Both his hands and his face was in bandages, so that only his eyes were visible. You clenched your fists, remembering how that Nomu was breaking him like a twig. So, you're alright, Ozawa-sensei? Ida asked. My condition doesn't matter, Ozawa replied calmly. More importantly, the fight is not over yet. The UA Sports Festival is approaching. Everyone was relieved to hear that because they expected to fight the villains. I'll explain what it's all about, but first I have to congratulate you on a job well done. You all put up a great fight. Morsha, May, you saved my life. Thank you. You looked at him seriously, nodded, and smiled. On the other hand, Morsha said something. Since we saved your life, how about you do me a favor and spare me the lesson of the next few days? Never. Now let me explain to you about the sports festival. Let me hold it real quick. Okay. Morsha sighed in disappointment. Our sports festival is one of Japan's biggest events. All of the heroes will be watching. This is a great opportunity for you to show your skills. Time is limited. If you expect to be a professional hero, then you should show yourself at the event, Ozawa explained. It was lunchtime. At that time, you usually sat on the bench in front of the school and ate a sandwich or something. May, hello. You turned around when you heard a familiar voice. Tsuyu, hi, you answered. Do you need anything? No, I just noticed that you will always sit here alone. Why don't you eat with others? She asked. I usually sit alone with my thoughts at this time. A lot has been happening lately, you said. Yeah, I'm a little confused about everything too, she replied, sitting next to you. I'm a little scared. Scared? Why? All night barely won a fight against those people. If they attack again, when he's not around. I guess you're right. Well, there's nothing we can do about it. You looked at the floor sadly when she said that. You remembered the fight when you couldn't do anything. You felt weak again. Well, I'll go. Sorry to bother you, she said, walking away. At the moment, you were thinking about only one thing. At the train now. It was that day. The sports festival was starting in just 10 minutes. You were in the women's locker room. You saw something unusual. The camera was behind the trash can in the corner of the room. Disgusting, you thought. You took the camera. Unlucky, you said, and approached Toru. If anyone doesn't know this invisible below. Toru, I need a favor. You said, walking up to her. A favor? What is it about? She asked. You smiled seriously. Hello? Can I say something while you're all together? You said, approaching the boys from 1A and 1B classes. What do you want? One of them said. You took out the camera from your pocket. You watched everyone's reaction carefully and said, someone left this in the women's locker room. I'm pretty sure it was recording. I'd like to know who, you said. The boys looked at each other in confusion. I bet it was Mineta, Denki said. It's not me this time. Mineta defended himself. You looked at the boy with orange hair and glasses. When he saw you look at him, he broke into a cold sweat. What's your name? You asked. Kiko, he answered. Shinkinko, he said. You approached him and looked at him in the eyes. So, Shun, why did you put this camera in the locker room? It's pretty gross, you know, Shun. I'm not. That's not my camera either, he answered. Right. This is Toru's camera, he said. You put the camera in your pocket and took out another one. This is your camera, Shun? Is this your camera, Shun? You asked. He looked scared at the camera. You sighed. Well, I already know the answer. Since you were good enough to tell me your name, you said, and took the receipt. On it was written the camera model, and it was purchased. That was purchased. And in that place where the buyer's name should be written, Shinkiku was written. When I looked at the camera and saw it, it looked pretty new. It also hasn't recorded or taken pictures of anything before. I assumed it was new. I asked Tora, who was invisible, to look through your pockets and bags. I was hoping to find something like an account, and I did. Yay! When I said what happened, you panicked, but you saw it wasn't your camera. You calmed down. Do you know how lucky you are? If anyone else had noticed this, they would have kicked you out of UA, you said. Kicked out? He spoke in fear. Yes, UA is a very strict school. For such an inherent deed, you will be expelled for sure. You didn't know if what you were saying was true or not, because you didn't study the rules. But you were pretty good at lying, so he believed you. I could report you now, you said, turning around. He grabbed her shoulder and said, Please don't. I can't be kicked out. Please, I'll do anything. When you heard that, you smiled psychopathically. Then become my slave, you said. Huh? If you don't want to be kicked out, you'll do everything I say without complaint. You explained, smiling. I... Okay. When he said that, you turned to normal. Excellent! Thank you for your time. You left them confused and left. It's that group, isn't it? Excellent. New stars who defeated the enemy with their incredible hero course. Class 1A. You listen to the present mic announcement. The announcement screamed and clapped as if they had seen the gods. You found it boring. He went overboard with so much announcement. It makes me nervous. Aren't you nervous too? Kirishima asked. No. I like it more and more, Bakugo said. I just want to sleep, you added. Sleep? May, this is a big chance. Today we can prove ourselves to be heroes, Morsha said. I guess you're right, you said and smiled. They haven't had time to show themselves, but don't underestimate them. Hero Course Class 1B. President Mike presented the Class B1B class. That pervert goes to that class, you muttered. I still don't understand how someone could do something like that, Kirishima added. Sorry for the yawn. President Mike introduced the other classes as well, after which you all gathered in the middle of the field. Midnight was standing there. What is Miss Midnight wearing? Kirishima asked. Is it good for her to be dressed like that in high school? Tokiyomi said. Dress code doesn't work for heroes, huh? You asked. I like it, Mineta shouted. You kicked him in the head. Silence, everyone, Midnight ordered. The student's introduction will be done by May from Class 1, she said. Oh god. Everyone looked at you. Can someone else do it? You asked. Midnight shook her head. You took a deep breath and stood in front of the microphone. Stood in front of the microphone. You had no idea you were going to have to do a speech. Why didn't anyone tell you about it? I'm doing that one. You can pause it and read it. You went back to the pile of students waiting for Midnight's reaction, but since she didn't say anything to you, just yawned and went back to your thoughts. You just yawned and went back to your thoughts. May, are you even sleeping? Morsha asked you. Sure, why? You always look like you haven't slept in 500 years. Well, I go to sleep around 10 p.m. I wake up around 3 a.m. Maybe that's it. So you're only sleeping for 5 hours? That's not healthy for you, you know. What are you, my mother? You asked and smiled cheekily. Morsha rolled her eyes. Quiet, Minna shouted. Well, let's get ready. The first game will be a duck. The only thing you're allowed to do is anything while you're on the track. Now everyone get ready. She has a microphone. Why is she yelling? You asked. Everyone was pushing to get to the gates. Ready, set, go, Peasant Mike said. An ordinary person can have a maximum of 2 quirks, although this is also rare. If you don't want to attract the attention of the base, you had to be careful to use a maximum of 2 quirks. You decided that you were going to try at least long as possible using only quirk cat. Because of it, you always have ears and a tail, so you can't hide it. Todoroki froze both of their feet.
Which is really far more interesting than the facts I said previously. Jason had been running bank fraud scams for years and was tens of thousands of dollars in debt. In November of 2004, he bought a pistol and
But you easily dodged the ice and started running. Very quickly, you came across several robots from the entrance exam. Todoroki wasted no time and iced one of them and left. Kirishima and some guy from second grade tried to get through the legs of the robot, but they collapsed. The first to pass the robots is Shoto Todoroki from class 1A. Peasant Mike said, "There's no way I'm going to die like this," Kirishima shouted. He literally dug his way into the robots to get out using his quirk. That jerk Todoroki. That class A, you heard someone's voice. It's full of fools. Some guy got out of the robot the same way Kirishima did. You didn't want to waste time, so you decided to run. There are several robots in your way. I'll use what you, metal bucket, don't have brains, he shouted. You didn't even know why. You simply felt that need. You quickly jumped on one, and then the other, causing them to destroy each other as they tried to kill you. If anyone doesn't remember, one of the Quirk Cat's abilities is to jump high and run fast. And jump over the other robot. You ran after Todoroki. You went about 10 meters behind him, so you easily overtook him with your speed. After just a few seconds, you were already about 1 meter in front of him. Soon Bakugo also came. Mei has taken the lead, yet Todoroki and Bakugo are right behind her. Will they hold the lead until the end? Peasant commented. You quickly reached another obstacle. The first barrier was easy. So what about the second? If you didn't want to fall, then be careful, Peasant Mike said. Your ability to jump far and your excitement bounced helped you. However, Todoroki arrived before you. Todoroki's first again. But wait, Mei was getting closer. You managed to overtake Todoroki. This whole thing seemed made for my quirk. Good luck, he said. Todoroki frowned and sped up, but he couldn't overtake you. After a few seconds, he noticed that Bakugo was a few meters behind you, the two of you. He flew using explosions. Huh? These two are giving me trouble. Really? I can't stay in lean, he thought. Who knows? Now just stay fast like this and your chance is great, Kaiko said. I realized it was Kaiko. Because K-I, Kai. And now, we've quickly reached the last barrier. This is a minefield. It's set up so you can tell where the mines are. If you look closely, normally these mines are very powerful, but there's a chance you'll get hurt. If you get too close when you touch them, Peasant Mike explained. Dang it! I might lose the lead here. Dang it! You thought. Calm down, Mei. Even if you lose here, you still have time to win. Now calm down and go, Kaiko told you. You took a deep breath and ran forward. You quickly passed the mines, and Todoroki was next to you. While dodging the mines, you were also fighting. You wanted to push each other into the mines and take the lead. At once, you both looked away. Bakugo was closing in on you. He using his quirk as a proposition and flew. It arrived quickly. He stood next to you and attacked you with an explosion. You dodged the attack quickly. You were trapped between Bakugo and Todoroki. You know that if you wanted to take lead, you had to mine both of them. Bakugo attacked you with an explosion targeting your head. You moved your head forward, and after that, you took his head and pushed him away, trying to throw him on the mine. However, he kept his balance. After that, you attacked Todoroki with your fist. He stopped your attack with his hand and began to ice your fist. You drew your fist to yourself and kicked him in the stomach, but he scuffed. They both attacked you, and you'll be lying if you said it was easy to defend yourself. Suddenly, your head hurt. Both planned to take advantage of your moment of inattention. Before they could hit you, a huge explosion caught their attention.
The demon in the form of a young, lanky peasant man, a more fancy International Association of Exorcists back in 1994.
What the heck was that?
List of people who need to exercise. He shared a summer
Was it an accident, or did he do it on purpose? Class 1A, Midoriya flies using the explosion. Huh? Midoriya? He mumbled. Actually, he took the lead. Midoriya was flying at the works of a robot. Bakugo quickly used the explosion to accelerate to reach Midoriya. You and Todoroki ran after them. After a few meters, Midoriya collapsed. He wasn't thinking stupid. Kaiko said. No, this is a pretty good strategy, but not enough to win. You added in thought. You were running in the middle between Bakugo and Todoroki. Midoriya was falling in front of you. Just as you overtook him, you felt a blow in your back. It was part of the robot that Midoriya used to get here. He used it to knock you into the ground, right into a mine. You remember what Peasant Mike had said when you got there. Normally these mines aren't very powerful, but there's a chance that you'll get hurt if you get too close when you touch them. That's what he said. He didn't believe you were going to hurt yourself so badly, so your brain told you not to do anything. However, instinct took control of your body, and you used Quick Ghost. One moment before the mine exploded, you became transparent. You quickly stood up and continued running after Midoriya. The mines were now harmless to you. Midoriya was quick to block Bakugo and Todoroki. But what is this? It didn't affect May. She's immune to the mines now, and ran after Midoriya. Will she be able to outrun him? Peasant Mike shouted. You didn't overtake him, Midoriya. Arrived first. You second. Todoroki's third. Bakugo fourth. You were furious. It didn't even bother you so much that you were in second, but that you had to use the quirk. And what Midoriya did when he pushed you straight into the mine with that middle thing. You were angry. You underestimated his ability. Now physically, but mentally. Not physically, but mentally. Midoriya was talking to Uraka, so happy and carefree. You brushed him and grabbed his neck with one hand. You glared into him for a few seconds. You wanted to say something, but the words just won't come out of your mouth. You put it down, took a deep breath, and looked at him again. He was scared. He was afraid, but he looked at you with determined eyes. When you saw that your eyes widened, your head hurt even more than last time, but you didn't react. You just stared at him. You didn't blink. May? Deku, what are you doing? What happened? Uraka asked, worried. There was tension in the air. You closed your eyes and left without a word. Hey, May? The headache stopped when you heard Marsha's voice. Hey, you answered briefly. You looked at her with kind eyes and smiled slightly. Are you okay? You look pretty stressed. I'm fine. I'm just a little mad because I lost. Lost? I was like 20. That's fine, considered how many of us there are. And your ability? I thought you would be one of the last. What's that supposed to mean? She looked at you angrily. You laughed and shook your head. I was joking, don't worry. My night said top 45. Top 45 passes. It's sad, but don't worry. If you didn't make it, we prepared other chances for you to show yourself. The real competition begins, she said and licked her lips. Why does Midnight always lick her lips when she's finishing that sentence? Where was I? Her lips. The next game was Battle of the Horses. Probably the name is not correct because of Google Translate. I hope you know what it's about. Hopefully you do, because if you watched one of the episodes of My Hero Academia. Students can form a team of 2 to 4 players based on the race results. Everyone is assigned a value of points. The group points are added up in the score record of the tape. Points are added up to 5, so 45 places. 45th place is worth 5 boos. 40 is 10, etc. You have 220 points. However, has more points at the end wins first place. That is Midoriya. Has 10 million points. The game will last 15 minutes. You have 10 minutes to make teams. To make things more difficult, they won't show who was which place until the end of the game. You've already come up with a plan to win. Time has begun. You immediately approach Morsha. Hey Mori, want to be on my team? You asked, walking up to her. I have a plan to win, but I need you to do it, you said. What plan? I'm doing that one because I want to be smart. Alright, I guess I agree. I'll be on the team with you. Great! Now we only need 2 more people, you said. I know who certainly won't say no. Who's that? You will see. You approached Shun, who set up the camera in the girls' locker room. Hey, I have something to ask you. What? He looked at you confused. Be in a team with me. I'm sorry, I already have a team. Okay, then I'll go talk to the teacher, he said, turning around. Wait, I agree. Just don't tell him, okay? He said desperately. He smiled and looked at him kindly. Deal, he said. Sho apologized to the people who he was supposed to be on the team with and went after you and Morsha. He explained his quirk to you, as well as the quirk of the other B graders. Shun's quirk is that he ejects bullets from holes in his body. Your team total point were 540. Not a huge score, but it doesn't matter.
He was imprisoned during the reign of King Louis XIV of France.
Your plan was simple. You would steal the ribbon from Midoriya and Morsha would create the illusion. But it looks like you have a ribbon with 540 points, and Midoriya has only 100 million points. Ready, set, go! Peasant-like announced to the start. You, like all the other teams, heads toward Midoriya's team. Uraka, Tomura, Tokiyami, and another girl you didn't know were with him. Tokiyami might be a problem. Shadow block all attacks, Morsha said, analyzing the situation. Is Shadow smart? You asked. I don't know. The idea is, Mori, can you create an illusion if a monster to distract Shadow? For a monster to distract Shadow, you asked. I could, but Tokoyami knows what my quirk is and how it works. He probably knows it's just an illusion, she explained. Makes sense. Okay, so what are you gonna do? I thought you had a plan, Shui said. I assumed Nora would be on a team with Uraraka and Ida. I didn't even know that the girl's quirk is. I need a few minutes, and I'll come up with a new plan. Don't worry, he explained. They just nod. The girl's quirk is useless, but she could be a problem. She's from another course. She's licensed to use gadgets. Keiko told you. You flinched when you heard her voice. I see, you muttered. Huh? Marshall looked at you confused. He carefully searched each of them to see if they had any devices on them. You. Shu left their shoes, he told Shu. What about them? Don't they look different than yours? I see them. It seems so. Destroy them. Huh? Why? Because before you could explain to him, Midori's team took off because of that. Shu finally stopped questioning. He had no problem hitting their shoes with bullets, and then quickly fell to the floor. Luckily for them, Midori didn't touch the floor. No, my babies! The girl who was on Midori's team cried out sadly. You ignored her and continued to think. Alright, with this guy, you won't have any problem with their devices. Now, there's only one problem left. Black Shadow, you said. Okay. Then, what do we do about him? Morsha asked. That's what I'm trying to figure out. You answered her question. You looked at the sky and thought, Midori will most likely to try to avoid the fight, so this should be done as quickly as possible. But how? Maybe if... Nah, that won't work. Before you could think of a plan, you felt someone's presence right next to you. The person's hand was going towards your line. You didn't even open your eyes. You just grabbed the hand when it was a few centimeters from your head. Look, it looks like not everyone in Class A is dirt. You turned around and saw a blonde boy with blue eyes, an irritating smile. Huh? The very expression on his face made you want to kill him. In just the words he was saying, you could barely contain yourself. I mean, I took ribbons from everyone else in your class, except for these two, the green-haired boy and the guy with the eyes. Midori and Todoroki, as expected, he thought. I would be ashamed to lose so easily. You really are stupid, aren't you? Excuse me? What did you say? You defeated by ordinary villain. He didn't even expect you to be very smart, but this is another level. Your blood boiled when you heard him mention the incident with the villains. Well, they arranged so those with better results go to Class 1A. If we are so pathetic, that what are you, idiots? He said, annoyed. He frowned. Well, it seems someone made a mistake. He started to speak, but you cut him off. Pro Heroes made the list. Do you think they made a mistake? Do you think they are capable of making such an obvious mistake? An interesting option. You're in Class 1A because of that mistake they made. You should be happy and shut up. I'm not done with you. You both stopped arguing and looked at the direction the voice was coming up. You recognized the voice, and as you guessed, it was Bakugo. He flew using his explosion. That idiot, what does he think he's doing? Speaking of which, what am I doing? Bringing with some irritating guy instead of thinking, I'm running out of time. I'm doing that one. Oh my god, Bakugo's face. Oh my god, that's sad. Bakugo attacked that guy. Kirishima and Saramina soon came and caught him before he hit the floor. One interesting thing that happened was that guy touched Bakugo's hand and then attacked him with an explosion himself. Nice quirk, he said without removing the irritation smile. It made you forget what you were thinking about and focus on this guy. They had the same quirk. It's not possible. If so, they would almost likely have similar results in the exam. So, you thought. This quirk allows him to copy someone else's quirk. Nay, Kaiko explained to you. So, a copycat? You said. You're pretty smart. The only intelligent person in 1A, in fact, he said. Should I take that as a compliment? You asked ironically. Your choice, he answered. He completely ignored Baku, who was about to explode with rage. That's fine. I'm a little busy right now, but next time I'll see you going to kill you. Otherwise, people would take it as a joke, but in your voice, you could hear that you were serious. Normally, you didn't care about guys like that. By the second he mentioned the villain attack, you sighed his own death warrant. You still couldn't forget that feeling of uselessness and the pain. You took a deep breath and came back to reality. May, we only have 5 minutes left. Do we have a plan to defeat the Dark Shadow? Moshe asked carefully. Nope, you answered. Let's go without a plan. Without a plan? Are you crazy? We don't stand a chance if she started questioning you fearfully. Well, we can't lose anything. I mean, they certainly don't want our binding. Besides, there's no way we're going to lose, he said positively. Okay, I'm with you, May, Moshe said. What's wrong with you? Shoo, I'm sorry to remind you, but you have no choice unless you want me to talk to the teacher. Okay, just don't do it. You smiled at that, and then looked at Midoriya. When you saw that no one was around at that moment, you became serious. Could it be that they lost the bandage? You made up your mind. However, you immediately remembered that Midoriya would certainly not stand still in this situation. You took a deep breath and sighed. The team to head towards Midoriya's team plan. Do you have one? But I don't matter. The only thing you had to do was switch ribbons, and Midoriya could be that hard. You took a deep breath and signaled Moshe and Shu to head toward Midoriya. They nodded and ran towards him. Moshe knew her task. They ran as fast as they could, carrying you, and in a few seconds you reached Midoriya and his team. You wasted no time and attacked quickly. You headed towards Midoriya's lane with your fist, but Dark Shadow stopped you. You tried again several times, but each time it ends the same. It was much harder to fight because you didn't control what you are, and you can't use full speed and all that quirks.
Coming in at number 8, we have Ava Gutowski, otherwise known as My Life as Ava here on YouTube. On her channel, she shared her creepy ghost stories.
When you thought about quirks, you remembered how in the race you ended up using quirk ghost because of Midoriya. Not only did you get annoyed when you thought about it, but you also got an idea. Since you used the quirk, you have to use it in Quirk Cat for the final. You've never tried it before, but it seems like a good idea. Can I make one part of the body breathable and another part not? You asked Kaiko. How should I know? I thought it could. Then I can get my hands on the binding without any problem. Try. Kaiko said disinterestedly. You rolled your eyes and focused on your quirk. After a few seconds, you looked at Midori with serious eyes. He was shaking, but looked at you with the same look. You took a deep breath and went directly to get Midori's bandage again. Once again. Didn't you realize you can't do that? Tokiyami asked seriously, looking at the dark shadow that was walking towards your hand. Don't tell me what I can do and can't do, he shouted. Dark shadow went to stop your hand again, but it just went right through him. However, you managed to take the bandage. Midori went to grab your hand, but then both it and his hand became airy. You took the tape and Midoriya, Moshe, and Sho ran. You quickly placed Midoriya's ribbon on your forehead and yours in your hand, and Moshe created an illusion as planned. Midoriya and his team came in front of you so fast that you barely managed to follow them with your eyes. I guess they had more of those gadgets, huh? However, you said loud enough that only Moshe and Shu could hear. They didn't even have time to react, and the dark shadow had already appeared in front of you. She tried to take the bandage from your hand several times, but you stopped it every time. After that, you tried to hit him several times, but failed. You noticed Midoriya and the three approached you while you were fighting Dark Shadow, but you didn't care. You wanted to converse strength of the final, for the final. And so, just a second, Midoriya easily took the bandage from your hand. What? Honestly. Okay. Just doing that. Okay. You no longer paid attention to anything that was happening in the field. You were only paying attention to your bandage. You were trapped in your thoughts. You couldn't get that villains attacked out of your head. It wasn't their attack that bothered you, but it's the feeling. And that time is up. The results are in. President Mike snapped you out of your thoughts. The game was over, and they were about to announce the winner. Midoriya's team was in 5th place. You didn't understand how it happened, but you didn't care. The 4th place was the team of some students from the 2nd course. In 3rd place, Bakugo, Kirishima, and Mina, and Hada, Zero Hada. Pizarnik said. You could see the frustration in Bakugo's eyes being 3rd, and the other hand, the rest of his team was very happy with the results. In 2nd, Shoto Todoroki, Denki Kaminari, Momoyo Yorozu, and Tenya Ida. You looked at their expressions. They were confused and angry. This must be some kind of mistake. There's a bar with 100,000 points, and 5 other bars. There's no way we're losing, Ida said, confusing, taking the 100,000 points binder. I wouldn't be sure, Moshe said proudly. At that moment, the illusion disappeared, and they could see that the tape they were holding contained only 540 points. What the? Ida started to say, but stopped. And first, May, Moshe, and Shan, President Mike said. Well, we'd appreciate if you could explain to us how you did it. A very simple plan, actually. Moshe quirk allows her to create illusions. When you took Midoriya's ribbon, I quickly put it on my forehead and mine on my hand. And then Moshe created an illusion to make it look like I had a ribbon on my forehead. 540 points. And then one with 100,000 points on hand. I let Midora take the other ribbon from me. After that, I didn't have to do anything else. Everyone thought Midora had the 100th point ribbon, and they fought it for it. You explained at the moment. Everyone glared at you. You! Bakugo wanted to attack you, but Kirishima stopped him. Calm down. We're still in third place. That's pretty cool, he said. Shut up, let me go. I'll kill her. He shouted similar things over and over, and you didn't pay any more attention. It's not her fault, you stupid, Morsha shouted, really ready to argue with Bakugo. You laughed when you heard what she said. Silence, please. Now I'm going to explain the third round, and it's one-on-one fight. Midna interrupted you and said, you looked at the board in the first round. You fighting Shu. You weren't interested in anything else. You decided to think about it when this time comes. Your duel was the first, but before that you had a break to eat. So after that, it was the usual games. You had decided not to participate in them. That's kind of cool. What? If I wasn't there, I would just do most of it after I ate something. You were walking down the hall and on your way to the exit with food in your hand. You suddenly stopped because you saw Bakugo. It seems as he was eavesdropping on someone. You put your ear up and heard Todoroki. So, if you had anything to do with All Might, that's another reason for me to defeat you, he said. After that, you heard the footsteps moving away and concluded that he was leaving. Because of his mention of All Might, you sure he was talking to Midoriya. Suddenly, faster footsteps came towards him. Todoroki, compared to yours, my reasons are nothing. But I got here because everyone believed in me. And I've always wanted to become #1 hero, saving people with a smile that my dreams. That's why. In order to fulfill that dream, I will do anything and defeat you. You heard Midoriya? And he and Todoroki were already quite far away, but you have excellent hearing, so you had no problem hearing them. Cute, he said. Bakugo turned and saw you. He looked confused. Are you listening? You asked him. Tuna breath. Why are you here? I have a name, you know. May Oski. Is that how I pronounce that? If not, comment below. A little respect, I'll ask. Respect? Why should I respect you? He smiled cheekily and asked. The weaker respect, the stronger. Then how it works. I'm stronger, you're weaker. So, you said, provoking him. I'll show you who's weak, and you idiot. Do you want to die? I told you a while ago, my name is May. So the sentence should go like this. I respect your opinion, but I don't agree with it. Personality, I think I'm strong, but that you underestimate me. He looked at you confused for a few seconds, and then he got even more annoyed. He started yelling at you, and you just laughed even more. Oh god, hiccups. Shh. If you're going to kill someone, make it that one B-class jerk, okay? You smiled slightly. You didn't even wait for him to answer you. You just head to the exit. That guy's such a jerk. And what? I'm gonna change the video real quick. How about let's go for time traveling. Okay, where were we? Okay. Your fight was beginning. A few meters in front of you, Shu stood ready. Around you were thousands of people cheering, watching, talking, eating, sleeping. Everything was there. You didn't pay attention to the environment. Shu was a good opponent, but you were sure you would win. At least if your head don't start hurting like that again. The fight may begin, Midnight said. Shu wasted no time in attacking you with several bullets. You managed to avoid them. You ran towards him, but he dodged and fired a few more bullets at you. You avoided them. A similar situation was repeated several times. You didn't see to notice that you were slowly approaching the edge. At the next time you attacked him, he dodged again, and you ran towards the edge. You stopped 1 millimeter in the middle of the line. If you crossed it, you would lose. Shu tried kicking you in the back, but you used Quick Ghost, and his leg just went through you. You underestimated me, you said, turning to him. I don't like it when people underestimate me. You punched him in the face, blowing. The blow was so strong that he flew a few meters away. Still, he managed to stand. He wiped the blood coming from his mouth. You underestimated me again. You underestimated me too, May, he said confidently, looking into your eyes. You ran towards him again when he stopped. Why? Your head started hurting again, even stronger than last time. It was only for a few seconds, but you were already barely standing. You took a deep breath and looked up. He looked at you confused, but then he shook his head and threw a few bullets at you. At the edge of power, you used Quirk Ghost and the bullets went through you. When she used her quirk, your head hurt again. You didn't hear anything around you. You saw the fog. It's okay, May. Just relax. Relax and everything will be fine. Don't worry. You heard a familiar voice from somewhere. Then you remembered the day of the villain attack. Then you heard the same voice. You know you shouldn't listen to that. You took a deep breath and looked at Shu. He looked at you with serious eyes. I have to finish this, he said. Blood started flowing down your eyes again. The pain you felt was terrible, but you didn't care. He shivered when he saw you look and got back into the fighting stance. You started running towards him. You ran faster than ever, as fast as it looked to the others you had teleported. You walked over to Shu and grabbed his neck. You held him in by the neck for a few seconds, then threw him out of the line. Shu's out! Why? May is moving on, Midnight said. You were breathing hard. You left the arena. Some congratulated you on your victory, but you completely ignored them. You went to the waiting room and sat down. You put your head down on the table and fell asleep. May, it's time for a duel. You're fighting me. I wouldn't mind you giving up, but you heard Morse's voice. Give up? I shouldn't make this easier for you. Never, you said and smiled back at you, and you head to the arena together. You were in the arena. Morse was a few meters away from you. Unlike the first fight, the audience was quiet this time. Your quirk is cool, but when you know what it is, it's useless. On the other hand, even when you know how my quirk works, it's not easy to win. I disagree. You may begin, Midnight said. You walked towards Morshita, but stopped. There was an illusion of an object in the floor in front of you. All you could see from that distance was the object was golden and glittering. I remember you telling me that day we met. Your quirk weakness is you're attracted to new and shiny objects, aren't you? Like a cat, Morsha said. Your pupils got bigger and you started wagging your tail. You were slowly losing control over your body. The object started to move in the line, and you followed it. You felt like you were hypnotized. I hate you more, you said. Moshe laughed a little at that. Maury, how exactly does your clerk work? You asked her as you slowly approached the line. I told you I'll create illusions, if anything I imagined, she answered. So, if, for example, you were to imagine your crush, he would appear here in as illusion. Morsha blushed. I can't imagine anyone if we're talking about a crush. Oh, but I know it's a lie. If you love him, how? What would he do? Would he be dressed? Of course. So, there's the person after all. Huh. Of course not. What would he do? Let's say chasing a dog or bringing you a box of biscuits. Do you have a boyfriend, Maury? No. But you must have had at least one boyfriend in the past, haven't you? No, but... Do you have a brother or sister? Or are they rolled up? For example, when they bring you a present, did it even happen that present in the box was and fell out, that everything spilled? He continued to question. Morsha smiled, remembering the familiar situation. Suddenly, an illusion of a tall, red-haired girl approached in front of you. I think that's it. No! You assume Morsha's sister. I have a present for you, the girl in the illusion said, approaching with a box in her hand. While walking, she tripped over an object that attracted you and fell. In the moment, you no longer saw the objects. Your eyes turned to normal, and you ran towards Morsha. Before she knew it, you pushed her, and she was out of bounds. Morsha's out of line. May is moving on. Midnight said, I missed the last chance, but I'll be winning the other fight now. You thought, however, that was not possible. That's not going to happen. We need to talk. You heard Kaiko. She sounded serious, so you agreed. You were in the waiting room talking to Kaiko. May, as for these headaches, it's something serious. I know, every time it happens, I don't hear you anymore. Exactly. I need to figure out why this is happening. Do you have any ideas? One. And you. What's your idea? So you have no idea. I won't tell you mine. Huh? You said She said yourself that this is serious. If you had any idea, then calm down. I still have to check if the idea is correct. If it is, then I'll tell you. But before you could finish your sentence, Araka walked in. May, hello. You didn't watch the fight. Why? Long story. I see. Well, I'm next, she said, and sat next to you. You've never seen her like this before. Her bows were furrowed. She was shaking. You felt nervous just in her presence. Who are you fighting? You asked. She swallowed and answered. Against Bakugo. Your eyes widened when you heard that. Oroka doesn't stand a chance against this guy. You were sure of it. You probably lose, he said calmly. I know, but I have to fight the best I can. I have to do my best and move on. For Mom and Dad. She hung up. You smiled when you heard her exclamation. You're a good person, Araka. I can't help you too much, but you stopped when you heard the door open. Midoriya and Ida entered. Araka, I know he's not too good, but I have a plan for you to defeat Kacchan. After they greeted you and Araka, Midoriya turned serious and said that. Thank you, Deku, but no, you are amazing. I see it more and more every time. When I went to your team the last game, I told myself that it was because it would be easier to be on a team with friends, but not in things. I think I just wanted to fight with you because you were strong. So, no thanks. Everyone fought with everything they had to reach their dreams. And that's why I do my best today. You all yawned after hearing Uraka's speech. You hated a lot of things, including speeches. Uraka noticed your reaction and went back to her old ways. I'm sorry if I was boring. I just wanted to say that. Then I dragged everything on and calm down, Uraka. That was a beautiful speech, Ida said, praising her. She smiled. I respect you, you said. Midora, Ida, and Uraka looked at you in confusion. They didn't expect those words from you. I hate speeches, but I like the point. So you've earned my respect. If this whole thing was true, of course, you said and looked at her suspiciously. So she just nodded. You smiled. I almost forgot. May, they were looking for you informally. Ida broke the moment. I see. Thank you. Then I'll go. Good luck, Uraka, you said and left. You needed me? You asked, entering the infirmary. I did. What happened during your fight with the boy? Are you blind, Grandma? He is your TV. What the f...
Edward is a man who has claimed that he has proof of the apocalypse, and he even brings photos along to prove it. Edward first appeared on Apex TV, which I'll be the first to admit hasn't exactly been a source of credit.
Okay.
Who knows? Maybe this is the time that they got it right.
Sure, but not now. Maybe after the fight. If that's all, excuse me, you said when you saw on her TV that was your turn. You ran towards the arena. Hang on! She tried to stop you, but you ignored her. You didn't even know who you were going to fight. You didn't even prepare the fight. Time passed much faster than you planned. What a second you saw Bakugo. Seriously? What right now? When you unprepared to have a fight with someone who's strong, you thought. No matter how much you thought, your face remained different. You can start, Mineta Star shouted. Waste no time, Bakugo attacked you with an explosion in hand. You quickly moved to the side and kicked him in the stomach. He quickly regained his balance and looked at you annoyed. When you saw that look, you couldn't help yourself. You gave him a psychopathically smile that made a lot of people cringe. However, he didn't react to that at all. You stared at him for a few seconds, after which he attacked you again. You slipped out again and grabbed his hand. Then you threw it a few meters away from you, hoping would cross the line. However, he used his blast to move away. However, he's away from you. A similar scenario. He was repeatedly several times. You were slowly getting tired. You have become much slower. Bakugo noticed that. He attacked you again. You used Quirk Ghost, and it went through you. He stopped a few millimeters from the line, which was almost right behind you. At the moment, you stepped back and stood in the middle of the arena. You didn't even blink. Suddenly, your head hurt again. It was only for a few seconds. You were thinking how much easier the fight would be if you could use all 6 quirks. If you hadn't even thought of it, Keiko scolded you before you did anything. You didn't react. You decided to attack proudly. While you were running, you felt a severe headache. Immediately, when you felt it, you also got a rush of adrenaline. You felt stronger than ever, and you ran faster than ever. It would look to someone like you were playing the whole time, but you were already barely breathing, and the fight only lasted 3 minutes. No matter how hard you tried, you couldn't even move. Bakugo blasted and hit you in the head, knocking you several meters behind. Blood was dripping from your forehead. In an instant, the pain was gone. You felt light and calm. You opened your eyes and saw that were in the right room. The floor and everything around you was white. You didn't see the side of the room or the ceiling. Where am I? Is this a dream? It's cold. What's happening? Help! Help me! You got up from the floor, and the moment you felt the floor disappear, you were floating in midair. In a few seconds, you started flying up and found yourself again in a similar place, only that everything was black. You stood on the floor just to approach the starting spinning. There were thousands and more large televisions around you. You tried to call Kaiko, but she didn't answer. Suddenly, the monitors lit up. Each one featured different moments of your life. You saw everything moment you lived. Suddenly, you saw an unfamiliar environment on one of the monitors. In the video, you were a little girl, about 5 years old. You didn't have ears and tail, but you could recognize that it was you. You had white hair, a little longer than your shoulders. On your back was a bright red backpack. You were wearing a dress, which made you think it was summer. You entered the house. Fueko, you here? Did you have fun today? You saw a tall woman. She was about 20 years old. She was wearing normal clothes and an apron. She had white hair and yellow eyes. Her voice sounded very familiar to you, even though you couldn't remember her. You could figure out who she is. Your eyes watered. In reality, it was great. We went to the forbidden place and threw pebbles in the river, said a little girl. I'm glad you had fun. Let's go eat now, shall we? The woman said, picking you up. She took you to the table. Where's Dad? You asked in the video. Daddy is still working, honey. Why? He's never at home. It's not fair. Your dad does a very noble job. He saves a lot of people. He should be happy about that, okay? This is it. This is it. Okay. Okay. An old friend found you. I watched the UA Sports Festival because I was bored. When I was looking at him, I noticed a surprise. Is that stupid? I mumbled when I saw the girl. It was in the race, near the end. What the boy, Midoriya, if not mistaken. Did that move when she used her quirk Ghost? We usually wear masks and suits, so it was quite difficult to recognize her by her appearance. However, she hid her quirk throughout the game. And if she had used it, she would have already been in first place. It's her, I'm sure. It was that when I heard Amy's voice. I quickly turned off the TV. None of your business. Go away from me before I kill you, I said. I hate that woman. I hate her. Ow. Aw. Snap. Aw. Why are you so nervous, Mai? Who did you see? As I said, it's none of your business. Get lost. Now get lost. I don't want him to know that I found that girl. If she found out, she would tell him. I didn't want him to know that. I have plans for her, and if he found out where she is, those plans will be ruined. So I have to take care of her as soon as possible. So I hope you enjoyed part 4. This will be in the same playlist as part 1, part 2, and part 3. Part 5 will be uploaded tomorrow. Hopefully. So, I don't know how many parts there is, so if this video gets around 10 likes, I will do like either a FNAF or a creepypasta reading. So, goodbye!